I'd like to read some new ones, and these are hopefully going to be some other book. They're similar, well, they're similar, but they're different. And some of them are a little bit longer, but then I've got others that are just little bitty short poems like that are 30 words long. I have this little system of rules I give myself. Has to be 6 lines, 5 words to the line. Odd numbered lines are basically iambic. Even numbered lines are basically trochaic. Who cares? It just gives me structure to work within. And do you know what a PONE is? A little piece of cornbread. Pot liquor. These are important references. The last PONE gone, a swaller in the kettle. Well, I was sitting there drinking pot liquor left from a mess of beans. Something come over me. Sakes no, not hardly his presence, but God Almighty, he was close. How many of you have ever seen a rabbit turn a flip? I've asked this. Okay. I knew Paul probably had. And
at least a man.
Cartwheels and round-offs and twists. God knows what you've seen. This is called, and I have seen a rabbit turn a flip. This is called the backflip rabbit, a true story. For certain reasons, well, for one, this woman used to call me Bunny, a nickname one could easily believe derived from a dalliance or two as in, oh, Bunny, and so forth. But in fact, came from a discussion I called her Big Sookie, or Sook. A discussion we had regarding rabbits, in which I imitated one, though the scene was set for more than talk. We'd found a grassy patch on the hill beside the spring and the willow tree. The first star was up and the dew had fallen, but the night was slow, and we rolled a jug between us. A pull for Sook, a pull for me. And pretty soon we were commending the good Lord for making the world, especially willow trees and springs and the bright green of spring and the choir of peepers singing down the sun. Thumping the jug and sucking my teeth, I said to Sook, well, Big Sookie, we're coming up on rabbit time. Mm-hmm, Sook said, and sure enough, the rabbit hopped out of the brambles and sat back on his hind legs. I saw a rabbit turn a flip one time, I said. A flip, Sook said. Why would a rabbit turn a flip? Showing off, probably, I said. You're pulling my chain again, Sook said. Rabbits don't flip. Do too, Big Sookie, I said. The one I saw reared back like that one, and all of a sudden he sprung up like he had a pair of bed springs on his feet and kicked his hind legs over his head and came back down the same spot. I pull you not. Sookie took a tug from the jug and rolled it back. Show me. Show you what? Show me how that rabbit flipped. And thus my imitation, in which I sprung, though not enough, and returned to the earth, wounded in body and pride. My flip flopped. I failed to do the rabbit justice and scared the one before us back to the brambles. You're a funny Bunny, Sookie said, and commenced to comfort my affliction. That's how Sookie came to call me Bunny. She said it again a little later, a couple of times, with the O in front. This is a poem, it's all one sentence. So you English teachers in the room, Please be sure I've got the proper punctuation, or indicating proper punctuation, especially semicolons. This is called The Church Without a Bell. I've made a maze in God's amazement, a crude one, up and down. In spring, it's green. In winter, brown. One path in view of another, but never the same, though one unbroken way. In truth, a jacktail vine sprung from a dream a boy once had, grown wild and curly, and in the middle is a church without a cross, without a bell, but inside and singing the latter man, who's telling the story against the story that's going on outside the maze. And the vine has built the church in the mind of the man inside it, whose story is not about new life, but coming back again and again to the church he made from his dream, which chimed with the time and rhymed with the scene of his dream and the time of its being. And in that time he lived and died and was born again and again and again. He couldn't get out of his dream because he loved it beyond the name of love, which doesn't have a name he could name. He couldn't leave the scene of his dream, the trees and the vines and the bird songs singing him deeper into the deep dark green of his mind, and everywhere else he looked he knew he was deeper and couldn't get out and couldn't keep himself from going again and again back to the church without a bell he built in his dream.